So welcome, Larky, and we are looking forward to the event with you tonight. Please go ahead.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen. And if someone, Wessa, maybe if you could just pull your hand up if everything looks fine, you can see it. Good. So this presentation is about confidence, how we can boost our confidence and knock out our inner critic. And I'm going to jump straight into it because in the agenda, I put a little point about myself. So just to present myself, I'm going to go through the concept confidence. What is it really? And because we tend to have different ideas about what confidence is and how we get it. And then I'm going to explain something about how you can boost your confidence. And at the end, I will share with you how I can help you as a coach. And then, of course, we have time for questions. So briefly about myself, I am, you can hear an accent. I'm a Danish person and I live in Paris. I've been here since January 2019. And that's why I'm in Internation, because when I came here, I was very overwhelmed with everyone speaking French, and I was searching for some kind of social life where I didn't have to speak French all the time. So I found Internations, and this has been one of the best things I did for myself while I was here in Paris. I really have gotten to know so many cool and interesting people. And I came here with a job in corporate. So I was working in the pharmaceutical industry as a pharmacist. I also have a background in rhetoric and communication. And then I decided in 2020, actually I decided before the pandemic to become a life coach. But the timing, it turned out to be perfect because we had this long period of time where we had to work from home, and I saved a lot of time from transport. And so I did actually the certification next to my job. So I did it at the same time. And my official niche today is I'm a breakup coach, and I help mainly women recover from breakup and divorce and reclaim their confidence and their self-worth, and sort of rewrite their story about the relationship, and dive into if they have a lot of past relationships as well, to sort of become aware of all the thoughts and beliefs that they have created about themselves and that can block themselves in the future. This is very normal when we have had many relationships and we end up finding ourselves single again, maybe in our 40s. We tend to make up all these stories about how we can never succeed in a relationship. And it's important to look at that, because otherwise it will block us. So basically that's what I do. And then I help them get excited about their life again and start dating again. So that's like my official niche, but I also have done a lot of work around confidence and worked with a lot of clients on confidence as well. So I still coach on confidence also. And so tomorrow, the event tomorrow, if you haven't signed up yet, I would encourage you to go and sign up. It's the same time tomorrow evening, and it's about breakup and how you can turn your breakup into a blessing. So that was just briefly about myself. So I want to just start by explaining to you what is the official definition of self-confidence from a life coaching perspective. And so we can have all these ideas about self-confidence, and it's something you have if you grew up in a family where the parents were supportive and it was a harmonic and loving family, and then you're just lucky to have it. Or is it maybe something, related to your personality, that you just have it or you don't have it? But the good news and the message that I want to transmit to you today is that self-confidence is always something we can work on. It's available to everyone, no matter what, and you can build it yourself. And that, I think, is so powerful and so important to understand. And self-confidence is mainly three different things. The first one is to trust yourself to be able to figure out anything. And by that, I don't mean that you have all the answers already and you know how to do everything. Is that you have this really basic trust in yourself that I will try until I get it, or I will ask and I will search and I will find a way through whatever challenge I'm facing. and I will be able to figure it out in the end. And a lot of us actually do that already, but we still don't really believe it. When we see a new challenge, we think that we can't do this. But if we look back on our life, most of us have actually been able to figure out things, because that's basically the only way we can learn new things, is that we try and we allow ourselves to fail, and then we try again until we have figured out how to do this. So the trust, the self-trust, that's a really important part of self-confidence. The second thing is to be willing to feel any feeling and not let it stop you. And that is something that often when I speak to people, they say, yeah, I'm not really that much into feelings. I'm not a feeling person. And then I am thinking, what are you talking about? Because feelings are really the most important things in our life. Feelings are the one thing that's driving us to do what we want to do. And it's also the thing that's stopping us from doing things. It's the fear of a feeling. And the secret to being really confident is not that you never feel awkward, or you never feel embarrassed or nervous or any of these uncomfortable feelings. The secret is that you are willing to feel them, that you can step into those feelings and allow them to accompany you while you still do the thing that you want to do. So not let it stop you, because that's when we step into true superpower. That's when we actually allow ourselves to feel something uncomfortable while doing the things that we want to do. So this is really key, and there's some fun ways we can train that. I'm going to come back to that later. And the last thing is that we are able to love and accept ourselves, even if we have perceived imperfections. So if we think we have different things that are imperfections, and this is of course very individual. We all can find things that we don't like about ourselves, or things that we see as imperfections. Other people will not say it's imperfections. They will say that's just a charm, that's just something I always liked about you. And the thing is, if we can sort of embrace everything and just decide to love and accept every little thing about ourselves, that really builds into our confidence. So what does it look like if you need more confidence? How can it show up? First of all, we worry ahead of time if other people will like us. If we're going to meet new people, let's say we're starting a new job, or we're meeting some new friends of a new partner or whatever, we worry a lot ahead of time if they will like us. And it's not like it's normal that we care about whether other people like us. It's normal that we actually have some kind of thoughts about it, but that we go so far as to really worry about it, that's when it could be good to actually work a little bit on our confidence. We can also spin in the self-judgment about past events. So if we have experienced something where we felt we did something really embarrassing, or we would have liked to behave in a different way, we almost torture ourselves by having this on repeat in our brain, this little movie playing out, and I did this and I said this and I shouldn't have done that. So we judge ourselves really hard. We tend to see more limitations than possibilities for ourselves. So we might see other people being able to do things, and we want to do the same, but we think, I could never do that. She can do that, but I could never do that. I only see limitations here. And so we also tend to go into this where we doubt ourselves a lot, and then that creates a lot of overthinking and indecision. And we can go back and forth between different decisions, and we think we make a decision, and then afterwards we doubt ourselves again, and we go back and see if we can change it. And we basically waste a lot of brain power and time on overthinking and being stuck in indecision, because we just don't really trust ourselves to be able to make the right decision. We can feel like an imposter if we manage to get a good job, or we succeed with something. We feel like it it was a coincidence, it was not really me, or we feel that it's just a question of time before my colleagues are going to find out that I'm actually not that smart. The funny thing is that when we can feel like an imposter and feel like everyone else thinks that we can do a lot of things that we can't do. But if that was really the case, we would be kind of clever if we were able to trick everyone in believing that we were capable of doing the things. So no matter what, if you feel like an imposter, you can ask yourself, but would I really be smart enough to trick everyone? Because if I am that, I am actually smart, and then I'm not an imposter. I don't know if it makes sense, but it's sort of a way that we can sort of open up our minds to seeing that it's actually just a mind drama sometimes when we have these thoughts about being an imposter and not deserving what the success that we have. We are also often afraid of failing. And the worst part of that is that, fear of failure is basically the biggest dream killer ever. So the worst thing is that because we're so afraid of failing, we stop ourselves from doing things. We don't take risk. We don't put ourselves out there where we really want to try something new. And then we do this that I call compare and despair, which is when we compare ourselves to others in a negative way. So we compare in the sense that we think they are always doing better. She's got a better job than me, and she's looking better, and she's got better clothes, and her apartment is nicer, everything is nicer. And so basically we're just using other people's success to against ourselves, basically. So that's where we compare in a negative way. And we can also tend to people please because we want people to like us, because that little validation gives us something. And so we try to figure out what we think they want us to do, and then we do that. And at some point we forget what we want ourselves, because we're just focused on pleasing other people. So these are some of the things that it could look like if we need more confidence. So on the other hand, if we are very confident, what could it look like? So first of all, it's someone who's not depending on other people's validation. When we are in this confident mindset, we know that we can validate ourselves. And it doesn't mean that we don't care about other people's opinion, but we just don't need it in the same way. We're not depending on it. We can love ourselves even in an awkward situation. We can laugh a little bit about ourselves. We don't it doesn't mean that that we just think that everything we do is amazing. We can own our mistakes. We can realize that we do things that sometimes we would like to do differently. But it doesn't mean that we beat ourselves up. We still can love ourselves and the person we are, and see how we can grow and learn from different situations. We also stop judging ourselves, and this is actually a choice. This is a lot of us thinks that we can stop judging ourselves and be kind to ourselves once we have achieved something. We need to have achieved a certain level of income or education or a job title or whatever. And then we can feel good about ourselves. But actually, it's a decision you can make. You can decide, I'm just not going to judge myself anymore. If I experience something that feels, or where I think I have done something wrong, I will look at what I can learn instead, but not judge myself. And we don't compare ourselves to others in a negative way. We can still use others' success as inspiration to ourselves, but we don't use it to put ourselves down. And actually, other people's success can be a really good driver. It can be a really good motor that will inspire you to see what is possible for you as well. We find it also easier to let go of perfectionism when we have a good confidence, because perfectionism is basically fear of failure. And so when we realize that our self-worth is not dependent on our performance, that we are 100% worthy no matter how we perform, then we can relax a little bit more with our performance and just strive for doing as good as possible. But whenever we make something, when we don't achieve perfection, we can learn from it instead. And also we own our success. We feel that we totally deserve it, because we can see that we did something really great. And it's not that we feel better than anyone else, but we just know that we are all amazing. And then we see possibilities instead of limitations. We can see that there are so many things we can achieve in life. And of course, there will be challenges, but we can overcome that as well. So in the end, we feel empowered to make decisions and make our dreams come true when we are confident. So those are all, I don't know what you think, but when I look at the list here, I think this looks great. I mean, I'm really happy to say that this is all available to everyone. This is not something you have to be born under a lucky star to get. I mean, you can do all this. You can work on yourself and your mindset and get. Is there anyone who has struggled a little bit with the idea of being too confident, that you think that being too confident means that you're arrogant? Because I hear that sometimes. When I have my confidence clients, I always ask them, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is super confident and 1 is you are very insecure? And then I ask them, where would you like to be? And I never had anyone say they would like to be a 10. And then when I ask them, why don't you want to be a 10? They usually say they want to be a 9, 8 or 9. And then they say, I don't want to be a 10 because I don't want to be arrogant. So I just thought it was relevant to just explain the difference here, because if you are arrogant, it doesn't mean that you're super confident. Arrogance is something different. Arrogance is actually that you show up in a way as if you were superior to the rest. Whereas if you're super confident, you do not feel superior, but you also don't feel inferior. You just have really high thoughts about yourself and the rest of the other people. So we kind of think that we are all amazing in each our individual, unique way. So it's not being arrogant. If you have a good confidence, it doesn't mean that you are looking down on other people. I think that's important to get established. Things we do to chase confidence and that doesn't work actually. We seek other people's validation. And this is where I sometimes just joke a little bit with it and call it, we become validation junkie. And what I mean by that is that you can get other people's validation. It will make you feel good for a short period of time, and then it sort of wears off and you need another fix. So you go and find some other way to get the validation if you can't create it for yourself. We can also buy what I call confidence boosters, external confidence boosters. That could be typically for women, it would be like a handbag, shoes, clothes, lots of new stuff. For men, I don't know, it will be cars, maybe motorbikes, really big, expensive things. Equipment, it could be computers, fancy watch, whatever. And there's nothing wrong in buying these things. It's not that you're a bad person if you buy new shoes and you have no confidence, but it's just that if the purpose of getting these things is to create more confidence, we just need to be aware that it doesn't really work. It's a very short-lived kick it will give us to see ourselves in this new clothes and see how this feels great, but it's not going to give you the inner confidence on a longer term. We see also, and that is probably especially for perfectionists, that we go and search for diplomas and titles where it's not necessarily because we want the learnings, but because we just want this very nice title, and that makes us feel like now I'm legit, or now I am someone. And that's also something that is not really useful. And finally, another thing, I mean, these are just some examples. There's many different ways we do, but when we have a perfectionism mindset, we also try to achieve all sorts of impossible things, from the philosophy that once I have this, then I can love myself, and then I can relax and give myself permission to feel good. But the thing is, whenever we achieve something as perfectionists, we're just going to have a new goal. We're just going to have something new that we want to go and hunt. So we don't actually ever relax, and we don't give ourselves this permission. And the worst part this is a bit counterintuitive, but for a perfectionist, the worst thing that can happen is actually to do something to perfection, because then you will need to do it the same high level the next time, and then you will feel even more pressure on yourself the next time you do a similar thing. So that's of course not working, and the consequences of all this is basically it's a kind of self-sabotage that we're doing, and it's giving us more insecurity and feeling more unhappy. And in the end, we exhaust ourselves from doing all this and feeling never good and never talented or educated or skinny or competent or lovable and so on enough. And so I don't know if you can see, because I think the camera is in here. Chasing confidence in all the wrong ways, which is outside ourselves. When we chase it outside ourselves, it makes us miserable, because it just takes all the energy and it doesn't really work. And you already have everything you need inside yourself. You don't need to search outside. You don't need to do all these things. But if you wonder why are so many people searching for validation and all the things outside themselves, there is actually a good reason why we keep doing this and why we keep going down the wrong path. And it's related to our brain and the way we are wired for survival back in the time. So if you feel that you are doing some of these things, there's no reason to feel shame about it. This is a perfectly human and normal way to behave. And I'm going to explain it now. So we have in our brain, we have a part of the brain that we call the primitive brain, or the lizard brain, which is the oldest part of the brain. And this is the part that has kept us surviving throughout the time. And it has had some very basic purposes. And one of the things was to avoid any kind of social rejection. Because back in the times where we lived in cave, we couldn't really survive on our own. We had to be together in a group. We had to stay together, and we couldn't be rejected. We couldn't be too different from the group, because if we were rejected, it would, in the worst case, it could actually mean that we died. So that is one of the reasons why rejection can feel so painful still today, because our brain is simply wired to keep us together and to try to constantly feel validated by others, and that we are approved and good enough to be part of the group. So this is the reason why we have this natural instinct to want to be approved of and want to be validated by others. And it's also one of the reasons why we compare ourselves. We compare ourselves with others because we want to constantly make sure that we adjust our behavior to not be too different from the rest, so that we stay inside the approval of the group. And back in the days where we lived in cave, this was something that made sense, also because we were not that different. So we could easily compare ourselves to others and see, okay, that's okay. Whereas today, if we compare ourselves to someone we see on Instagram, first of all, we all live much more different lives, but also we only see a glitter picture of the life. So we don't really know what we're comparing ourselves to. So today it doesn't make sense to compare ourselves to other people, but back then it actually did. There was a good logic reason for this. And so basically what we can say is our primitive brain is basically trying to protect us from social death. And this is one of the reasons why we're doing all the wrong things to create confidence. Just want to take a small break and see if there's anyone who has questions. Now I have so now I have talked about the problems of the primitive brain and why it's not actually serving us all the time. The good news, of course, is that we also have a higher brain, the human brain, what we call also prefrontal cortex. And that's the part of the brain that we can use to think and reflect and plan. And we can think about our own thoughts. That's quite unique for human beings, that we can have a thought and then we can think about the thought. So we can have a thought and then we can realize that we don't want to believe in that thought. This was a thought that doesn't serve us. So that's a little bit the part of reflection about ourselves, the self-reflective part, which is good because that allows us to bypass all the things that the primitive brain is doing that is not serving us. So we can manage our mind that way around. And that's something we use when we train self-confidence. So now I'm going to dive into the things that you can do on your own. And I've selected 3 steps or 3 tips that you can choose to work on if you want to grow your self-confidence. So the first one is basically manage your thoughts. So practice thinking positive thoughts about yourself, loving and empowering thoughts, because that's going to create a feeling of self-love and self-confidence. How can you do that? Well, you can start by making a list of things that you appreciate about yourself. Start by making a list of 12 things that you appreciate. And they have to all start with I am. So I am a good friend. I am a loving daughter. I am a great colleague, or I am someone who listens a lot, and so on. And you can choose all sorts of things, and it can be, for some people, it's really difficult to find 12 things they appreciate about themselves. But it's a good exercise to try to find something. It doesn't have to be all really deep personality traits. It can be small things as well. So the trick is that you practice, you get your brain into looking for positive things about yourself. And once you start doing that and you give your brain this task, it's going to come up with more ideas for you. So you really focus in on trying to find things that you appreciate about yourself and do this like a daily practice. You will get more and more ideas from your brain. It will come up with these ideas by itself. And what is really, it's so powerful to have these affirmation, we call them, when we say I am and then something, but it's going to be something you believe. You can't go in something completely out of the blue that you don't believe, because then it's not working for you. It has to be something that you truly believe. And if you find it difficult, if you have something that, you know, I would like to be this person, but I don't really see myself, I'm not like that right now, then you can always use the little word becoming. So you can say, I am becoming someone who's honoring my commitment to myself, or I am becoming someone who loves myself. So that you can put in this little thing, we call it a ladder thought. That's where we put like a little step into, so that we know the end goal, but we're not exactly there yet. We're practicing thinking like that, and it's gotta just be something that you can truly believe. Then you also want to practice noticing whenever your brain is talking negative self-talk to you. And this is what I call the inner critic. Often it's enough just to notice these thoughts and categorize or label them as negative self-talk, and then you will bit by bit be able to let it go. Sometimes you need to do a little bit more. Sometimes you need to reframe the thoughts. But in the first steps, just becoming aware of the negative self-talk can be really powerful. And just take a step back and say, okay, that was again something from my inner critic, and I don't think I want to believe in that. I don't think I want to subscribe to negative self-talk. And then you can also build your self-trust by doing, for instance, a 30-day commitment. This is something that's really fun to do, because what you do here is you just choose something you want to do for 10-15 minutes every day for 30 days. So it's just a small amount of time, and then you make it like a little table, or you put it into an Excel sheet, whatever you prefer, and then you track it so that you're sure that you're going to do it every day. Just put a little tick and say, I did it today. And it can be reading something in a book, or it can be journaling, it can be meditating, or whatever. It doesn't have to be anything big, but what you will see, first of all, is that you build your trust in yourself, that you know that once I have decided something, I'm going to follow through. And you will also see how much you can do in 30 days. It's really amazing how much you can do if you're consistent and every day do a little bit. So that was the first one. And the second one is this is one of the things that is actually so much fun, is to do one thing that scares you every day, something that challenges you and that puts you in a situation where you have a feeling that usually a negative feeling, like feeling awkward, feeling embarrassed, feeling nervous, feeling fear of failing and things like that, and opening yourself up to just feeling those feelings and then doing it anyway. It's something I do with my confidence clients, and we call it the dare of the day. And so in the beginning, we do just I ask them to identify a dare, and then I tell them to do this one dare in the coming week. And then we talk about what is it, why is it a dare, what scares you about it, what is the negative feeling, what's the worst thing that can happen, and so on. And then they feel ready to do it. And then afterwards, they come back, and they always realize that it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as they thought it would be. And then I ask them to do one dare every day for the coming week. And then they sort of really build their confidence. And the funny thing is, what happens after you do all these dares is that you realize that it's actually not that bad, and that all your thoughts about how scary it is, they are worse than the actual doing it. I mean, the feeling of doing it is not as bad as the feeling you have when you think about it and what you imagine. And once you have achieved something like you're doing dares every day, of course, those are small things that it's a good little exercise and it's a good tool. But the whole idea of this is to open up your mind into thinking, if I can do this, what else can I do then? What are all the other things that I can do? Because if I can do this, and I never thought that was something I could do, then the world is open to me. I can do so much else. So this is one of the most powerful things I do with my confidence clients. And it's so much fun to see how they grow in just 1 week and come back and are just so powerful and ready to take on the world. It doesn't have to be like, I took this photo because I just like the girl hugging the lion, and because when we go into these challenges, we realize they're not as bad as we thought. Maybe it's even fun, and you don't have to jump out from a plane to do this. You could also imagine like a situation speaking in front of other people. Public speaking is something that scares most people actually, and that's a really good exercise for building confidence as well. So the last tip is look at failure as a learning opportunity. Reframe your idea of failure, because the only true failure here in life is when we never try, is when we let our fear of failure take control and let the fear be in the driver's seat. That is the only way we can fail. Failure will always be a chance to learn. It's a chance to learn something new. If we approach it from curiosity instead of approaching it from self-judgment and being very negative towards ourselves. And the more we fail, the closer we will be to success if we continue. So the only difference between people who succeed and people who don't succeed is actually the people who succeed, they just continue. They just try again and again and again. And we all know all these stories about writers who have tried like 100 different publishers before they finally found someone that would publish their book. And then it became like a big bestseller. And or stories about other writers. They might have been writing 20 novels before they finally got one of them published. And so it's just a question of continuing and learning from our failure. The ice skating princess here, I like to bring her into to this concept to explain that because I did take skating lessons myself, and I remember that. So I did this as an adult, and I never became like really good because you got to start earlier. But it was so much fun, and I was watching the young girls skating as well. And when they came on the ice after a break, the trainer would tell them to go and let themselves fall on purpose. And the idea in falling on purpose is that, first of all, of course, they needed to learn the technique in falling without hurting themselves, and they needed to learn how to get up again. But they also needed to be comfortable with falling, so not be afraid of falling. Because when you are afraid of falling and you're skating on the ice, you get really tense in your body. And when you're really tense, you can't learn any new movements. And so it's a bit the same that happens in our brain. When we're really afraid of failing, it's sort of like all our thoughts tense up. We can't think creatively. We can't think out of the box. We can't innovate because we're so fixed on doing the things that we think will avoid any failure and will get us the success. So if you feel completely relaxed about failure and know that the more we fail, the more we do, and the closer we are to success, then we will also create something new and create more innovation. Another good example here is the toddler who's trying to learn how to walk. We know this is going to take some time. He's going to try to walk and fall down and get himself back up again and fall down again, and it's going to take a while. But the interesting thing is that every time he falls and he pushes himself back up, that is the movement that's building his muscles. The strength of his leg muscles is building every time that he gets back up after a fall. So it is because of all his falling that he's becoming strong enough to actually walk. And again, this is kind of that his success is building on all his failures. And then I also like to take this little quote from Thomas Edison. I know you can find many different versions, whether it's 10,000 or 1,000 or many different numbers. But what he said is, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. So there's some good information. There's a chance to learn from every failure. So that is important. Now I have given you a few tips on how you can do this work on your own. I also just want to mention to you that so I'm a coach, I'm a life coach, and one of the things that I worked a lot on is confidence. So I can help you build confidence, and by teaching you those different concepts, like how to build your self-trust, how to stop judging yourself, how you can start loving and appreciating yourself, and to shift your inner voice from hater to kind. See failures as learning opportunities and letting go of perfectionism. This is something I had a number of clients on, people who had gone to therapy and other things where that just never really worked for them. They come to life coaching and they get some really practical tools that teaches them how to shift the perfectionism into a growth mindset where we focus on learning. And I can help you find the courage to challenge yourself and to actually get yourself out there and do all the things that just blows your own mind. And so you realize that you're capable of so much more than you thought, and also to own your success. So those are some of the things that I would normally work with clients on within the confidence training. And briefly about my coaching philosophy, I am from the Life Coach School, which is a school where we learn causal life coaching. And what is meant by that is that we look for the cause. We don't treat the symptom, we look for the cause, because that's how we think that the coaching is more sustainable, it's going to last longer if we look at what is actually causing us to act the way we do. It's all based on cognitive psychology. So it's not, I know life coaching can be many different things, and some of the things is not very substantiated, but this is actually a very science-based, and we get a lot of knowledge about how the brain works and the different neurotransmitters and how you can rewire your thought patterns. And basically what I teach my clients, and that's no matter if it's perfectionism or confidence or breakups or whatever it is, it's all about learning the strategies, like life strategies, how to shift your mindset in any situation. So you get some positive learning out of any situation and you empower yourself instead of judging yourself, instead of feeling completely lost, instead of feeling that all the good things are outside myself and I can't get them. Because no matter what the challenge we are facing, we actually have the tools inside ourselves. We just need to learn how to use them. And that's what I find so powerful about life coaching, is that it's a way to unlock the potential that we already have. So if you want to work with me on any topic, whether it's confidence or something else, you can book a free call with me. I offer 45 minutes discovery call, and that is a call where we focus 100% on you and where you are now, where you would want to be, where you would like to be, what are your most wild dreams, and what is it that you want to create in your life, and how I can help you get there. And you can go on my Instagram. That's where I have most activities. My Instagram account, I post almost daily. And I also have a website. The website is basically just brief information about me, but the Instagram is where you want to go if you want to get to know me and see what I'm offering to the world. And this call you can book on both on the website or on the Instagram account. And those are just, I brought some few comments from some clients. This was from two women that I coached on confidence. One of them, she says here, she tried many different things, hypnotherapy, group counseling, and so on. But she got the most out of life coaching, and she has learned how to look at her own thoughts and understand them more deeply. And that's one of the sort of meta skills that I teach my clients, is to take a step back from your thoughts and look at them and reflect on them and decide if you want to believe them or not. And she grew her confidence like to the double of where we started. There's another one. I don't know if you can see from the other woman here. She says she struggled with confidence, and the thing where she's basing her self-worth on what other people think. This is very typical what we do. And she actually has learned how to be compassionate, how to be as compassionate towards herself as she is towards others. And that her self-worth is not depending on others or her performance. This woman is a musician, and very often she's being judged and criticized by the audience or the critics. So she had a lot of things to work on there, because that's a challenging situation where you really need to be confident in yourself. And if you make a mistake, that here she says that she's rewiring her thoughts to actually see this as a sign that she's growing and developing, and not something negative about herself and her worthiness. So those are some examples of what I have worked with some clients on. Yeah, so I just wanted to encourage you to follow me on Instagram, and also there's a newsletter you can sign up for. And why is it good to be on the newsletter? That's because if I offer something like a free resource, masterclass, or other webinars, it's always the people on the list who will get it the first. And I sometimes also offer a few free coaching sessions. If I'm celebrating something, or I just feel in a good mood, I offer something for free, and that's always on the list. And some of the things are only being offered to people on the list. So you can go and sign up also again on the Instagram profile, or on the Linktree link here. That's where everything is put together, all the links. I think that was all I had. So I am opening up to questions.